Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Friday, the 28th of January. With Robert Murray McShane, we continue reading through the book of Esther. Today, chapter 5. Esther is the queen in Persia and Media, wife to Xerxes. And the story is that Haman, a courtier and noble, has hatched a plot against the people of Israel, and he wants to have them all killed. Esther is appealed to by Mordecai, her cousin, who says, "You've got to go to the king and save us." And she says, "I can't just go to the king, because if you go to the king without being invited, you're executed. But fast for 3 days, and then I'll go." At the end of those 3 days, she puts on her royal robes and goes to the hall where the king is. She takes her life in her hands, takes on the risk and goes. And the story is that the king looks up, sees her, and extends his royal scepter to her and invites her in. He's pleased to see her. And he says to her, the king says, "What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you." And as we read that at this point, we think, well, the problem is solved. She can say, Haman is trying to do this, please stop it. But that's not what she says. Her request to the king is, "If it pleases the king," replied Esther, "let the king, together with Haman, come today to a banquet I have prepared for him." And you think, what? The story stops, and instead of getting the problem solved, she takes them to a banquet. So they go to a banquet, and at the banquet, the king says to her, "Right, now that we're here, what is it you want from me?" And she says to him, "If I found favor in your eyes, will you and Haman come to another banquet tomorrow?" And the whole story is left hanging. It's wonderful, wonderful writing. It's worthy of some of the best screenplays for today. You're waiting and the tension builds. And Haman goes out full of himself and so happy that he's been selected in this way. And he sees Mordecai at the gate, and Mordecai won't bow down to him, so he gets upset. He goes home, tells people about all the honors he's had, and he's been invited to this feast, but Mordecai. So they say, "Well, have Mordecai executed tomorrow." And he says, "That's a wonderful idea," and he gets that plan in motion. And we're left with this sort of cliffhanger at the moment. And as I was reading that, I was thinking, it's so true to life. We want our situations resolved today. We want Esther to go into the king, say, "Solve the problem solved." Before the chapter's even finished, it's all done and dusted. But life isn't like that. And God doesn't work that way. So often God will work things out in his own time, and we think, why is it taking so long? And we've no idea. But God has a perfect plan, and he's working out his plan, as the song says, as year succeeds to year. And what we do is we've just got to trust him. Keep faith, keep asking, keep doing what we've been called to do, and rely on the fact that he will do what he does at the right time. So be encouraged by that sometimes life does seem to be delayed. Sometimes we're left with cliffhangers. Sometimes we don't have what we're looking for as soon as we want it. And sometimes it seems like it just goes on and on and on. But we can trust that that is all part of God's perfect plan. And we're safe in that. So be encouraged, be comforted, be challenged, and be blessed.